Hey guys, welcome back to the third episode of Creature Culture. Today we're going to be discussing kind of a hot topic recently in the pet industry. It's about grooming services and should they be considered an essential pet service during the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about our own definitions of what we consider to be essential, like what responsibilities should dog owners have when it comes to grooming, like for basic necessities and everything. Um, like what is really emergency grooming, and is it responsible for us to work? All those different things. We're going to get into it.
Yeah. So I guess just a quick bit of history. So I think all pet services pretty much universally, almost, in like at least the countries I know of, like Canada, US, I think UK. Pet services have been declared essential, but grooming's always been kind of like a gray area. So I think it kind of eventually went towards it became non-essential. And like grooming salons were getting shut down, at least in our experience where we live and from what we've been seeing from people in other countries too. So to go into some of the opinions and everything we have here. To start off, we have a poll done with people who work in the pet industry, as well as professional dog groomers and people in the pet grooming industry, as well as general pet industry. So first off, the amount of people who said yes, grooming should be an essential service was 55.6% of those interviewed. And we have some of the points here of why they feel that grooming is an essential service. So I'm going to go through them now. So to start off, grooming is necessary as a preventative care because it keeps dogs free of mats, fleas, injuries from curled nails, anal gland impactions, skin and ear infections, and it also provides a full body check for any red flags of health issues. Grooming services also assist elderly and disabled people that are not able to groom pets themselves. Another point, without regular appointments, nervous dogs may regain their fear of the groomer. Some dogs may require multiple people or professional tools to be able to properly groom, restrain, or lift them into the tub. Owners don't listen to the importance of grooming regardless. Thinking they will groom pets at home is wishful thinking. That one kind of goes, I believe, with the belief that people should just be grooming their pets at home during quarantine. I guess we can all kind of relate. Owners don't, they tend not to take responsibility for those types of things if they can get someone else to do it. Another point like that, owners may do it wrong and hurt themselves and or their dog in the process. And I don't know if like people have seen like the peanut butter nail trim TikToks, like where they
very viral.
Yeah, like they put the saran wrap around their head with like peanut butter on it, and then they cut the dog's nails, but the dog licks the peanut butter, so it's distracted. Yeah, what do you think of that?
This is pretty cringe. Yeah, pretty cringe for us.
Yeah, I think someone did end up getting bit in the face, like everyone saw coming. I don't know, I haven't seen the actual video of that, but I think it was on TikTok.
Jesus.
Where, yeah. But yeah, I guess look up the videos. There have been ones where like people put peanut butter on the wall, which seems a bit smarter.
I don't know why the forehead right next to your dog
right face. There. I know.
What the fuck are you thinking?
I know. And yeah, and also like I think you said, Locke, we mentioned this sometime earlier. You said like if you have a person there to hold the camera, get the person to like hold the dog or hold the peanut butter on the spoon. Yeah,
there's so many options. There's just so much wrong with it. Like I get the intention of get them distracted by licking something. Why is it near your eyeballs?
I know. Why is that the first choice? Not to mention it's like a really awkward position to cut the nails in. Yeah. Very weird. Okay. And then moving on. Another point is that vet clinics are overloaded anyways, because people would say in favor of grooming non being essential is any emergency cases that require grooming can just go to the vet clinics, and vet clinics can groom them as an emergency service, because most vet clinics, they do offer some grooming services, usually only in like very bad, like very matted circumstances. But Yeah, another point is that vet grooming services can be more expensive and harder to get appointments. See the other point about vet clinics are very overloaded during the pandemic. We kind of covered this in a previous episode here where we talked about how vet clinics are kind of very booked lately because of people just noticing issues with their animals because they're at home more, accidents because they're at home more, or people who have an animal with an ongoing or months old issue that they just finally have time to get seen, or they actually like notice, or people just noticing animals generally being animals which they aren't used to and they think it's something wrong. So yeah, vet clinics are very booked up at the moment. And another point about veterinary grooming, veterinary grooming involves stripping a dog down entirely and does not look as aesthetically pleasing as a professional grooming. Many salons have room to socially distance, access to PPE, and are able to disinfect tools and areas and wash pets as soon as they arrive. As well, vets can't socially distance any more than groomers can, as both of them do curbside service. Grooming also relieves the pain of dogs who have mats, curling nails, ear infections, anal gland infections, etc. And dogs' comfort should be what our focus is. And another point, it's less risk than most public areas, such as a bank or a grocery store. And then groomers will only perform emergency grooms and postpone routine appointments to maintain like a lesser caseload. And if non-essential, when salons open back up, there'll be a longer wait list, causing matted dogs to wait even longer. And that's all the points we have for the why grooming should be essential for our poll here.
Yeah, like I said, it's a huge split in the world of that, like groomers in general. We're not groomers ourselves, right? That Haley, you have some experience with.
Yeah, I worked in a grooming salon for a while. Yeah.
So these are not our points, by the way. These are just
these are just what people said when they were at, people like other professionals, dog grooming professionals, were asked when they were given the option, should grooming be essential, yes or no. So it's just basically our poll results kind of that we've gathered here.
So just take it with a grain of salt when I'm reading out these the reasons why it's not essential that they have listed. And when I say it's split, it's actually very close to being split, because the percentage for people that consider it to be non-essential were 44.4%. Like that's a lot higher.
It's almost half. Yeah,
it's a lot higher.
It's almost half and half. It's very divided.
So the reasons they have for saying that grooming should be non-essential is that there's possible transmitters of viruses, like when it comes to dogs, right? So things can be on their dander, on their fur, and they can transmit that onto other humans. So it's not worth you or the society's health for unnecessary businesses to stay open for you just to keep working. So that's one of the points they have mentioned. Another is that it's not a groomer's moral or ethical responsibility to care for these like matted and neglected dogs that they see. It is unfortunate, we do see it, but there's no way of, waking up the owners to like see what's wrong with it, rather than just continuing feeding the wrong intentions with their owners, right? So another is that some salons, they don't adhere to proper social distancing measures. So I can definitely say that some salons can't be open, because you're pretty much, if you turn sideways, you can like with your hips hit both like grooming tables. Right? That does exist, unfortunately, right? What else? Vets can perform grooming services in emergencies. So no dog should have to suffer for it, but there's at least an option available when grooming salons are closed. And a lot of the times, if it is that severe, they would have to go to see a vet anyway, if it was that bad of like any mats or issues, right?
Yeah, I do agree with that point a lot.
Some else right here, what have said is owners need to be held responsible for allowing their animal to reach such a state of neglect. Grooming is a minimum care requirement. Having to bring their pet to the vet for grooming will give them that reality check. So kind of like what I mentioned before, we're just, it's like kind of being a yes man to it. Like, yeah, I'll do it for you because we have to, right? And we don't want this dog to suffer, but what are we teaching you in the end? Even when, like even as much as we talk about that, like what is really going to be the point of it? And then to move on to that, a lot of people wait 4+ months between grooming appointments, most of the time anyway. That's a really big point that people have made. And one point I found interesting too was that exotic animal owners are required to provide like difficult grooming needs. Why not the same for dog owners? Like, why are we
Yeah.
not putting them on this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so these are the points that they have made. They're all very like valid. Like these are
Yeah.
all these make sense. Yes and
Yeah, I
no,
know.
all make
Every
sense.
single point makes sense, and that's why I guess it's so divided, because it's you can really see it from both sides, really.
And
So,
we did have a lot of comments saying that they are in the gray area. Yes, in
mhm.
certain cases. Yes, if they take these precautions. Yes, if da 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 da. So a lot of them are in the gray area, but a lot of people have very strong opinions about whether or not this should be um, closed or left open. So we did get to speak with a person that did have a pretty strong opinion. We have a friend of ours that's a mutual friend, right? That
Yep.
is a groomer.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's a groomer that's been affected by the shutdown. She stopped working. She's a full-time groomer, so she had to stop working during the shutdown. Recently in Toronto, grooming services have been allowed to reopen, so she's been back at work, I think, like a week now, or it was a week at the time of this interview. So I've got her opinion here that it's pretty much unedited, just like for a couple words here and there. So I'm gonna read it off. So just here she goes. Yes, grooming is essential because grooming helps maintain the quality of a pet's life. It's not just about a cute, fluffy haircut. If pet owners knew how to do half the stuff groomers do, we wouldn't be needed. But the truth is they don't. And not everyone can provide grooming at home. Seniors and the disabled, for example, may not be able to brush, wash, trim, nails, etc. Some pets have behavioral issues as well, making it difficult for an owner to do daily grooming. However, with that being said, for salons to function, they must adhere to social distancing, provide PPE, and have enough supplies to sanitize the shops. The services must be deemed safe as possible to limit possible exposure to the virus. Grooming must be regulated because it isn't. All right, and then since returning to work, so she's been back at work for 1 week, we've all been swamped with grooms and calls. Every groomer is in high demand. I've been dead tired from grooming, and all of my good dogs are bad because they haven't been seen in so long. I've had dogs with nails in their pads, dogs with skin infections, and severely matted pelts within the span of March 21st to today's date, May 22nd, as a result of grooming not being deemed as essential. And then when asked whether the topic of whether grooming should be essential has created a divide in the industry, she had this to say. Avoid online groups. The groups have been discussing over this. Cyberbullying, snitching, reporting, and threatening. So many groomers have left because of the bullying and are not renewing their Ontario Dog Grooming Association membership because that association was involved in shutting down every salon. One person literally went against grooming be essential, and that one person spoke for all of us. No one was able to defend pet grooming from the start. And then for more information, she referred us to check out a website, Worldwide Pet Grooming Association, which will be linked in the description. And that is a website made by groomers, it was created and founded in the pandemic, so just in April, about how to protect groomers' jobs and keep grooming considered an essential service. So if I'm going to look at their about page here. The Worldwide Pet Grooming Association invites all pet professionals everywhere to become a member of our association. And then it just continues to discuss how it's founded in the pandemic. We are a new organization that hopes to have pet grooming as an essential service so that your pet won't have to suffer with things such as long nails and matted fur. So far, we are a team of pet professionals residing in Canada, looking forward to branching out to all countries who care deeply about the health and welfare of animals everywhere. So yeah, I think we'll have some more information about that if anyone is looking to join, I guess, for future pandemics or, God, I hope not, anything like that. So there's more information available there if
Yeah, even if you're
anyone
just
is
curious, like, I'm
interested.
gonna go check it out.
Yeah, I haven't really had a chance to look through it
So
completely yet, but
one thing that's interesting is that me and Haley haven't revealed what side we're on when it comes
Mhm.
to whether or not should grooming be essential. So we've been kind of saving that. Like, so all the opinions are a little touch-ins for
Mm-hmm.
our opinions have been unbiased so far, like when it comes to
Yeah.
knowing each other at least and how we're talking to each other.
Yes.
So when we look back at what we were going to talk about earlier, is that what is our definition of essential? So what do you consider to be essential in your own way, or like disregarding anybody else's opinion?
Yeah. I think for what I consider essential, anything that is necessary to live, um, and live comfortably, um, and with dignity, I guess, as a human or as a human who has animals. And your animals should be able to have comfort and dignity in their daily lives as well. So just anything that is a human need or an animal need, basically.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it's because a lot of people I've been seeing, like I agree with you. When it comes to essential, people mean like, am I gonna lose a limb? Is it that essential?
hmm
Like they're
yeah.
saying life or death situations and that's it.
hmm
Or some people are their definition of essential is what is a priority to them or what makes them
hmm
happy.
Yeah.
Right? So therefore, something like a luxury haircut that is simply just for um
hmm
like just for them to look cute rather than what they
Yeah.
need,
Yeah. There's lots of
that's
ways to interpret
considered to
it.
be essential to them. Yeah, so
hmm
I'm pretty much on the same page with you when it comes to essential. If it's affecting you negatively and it's something you do have to
hmm
maintain could be also very, it's a really broad term to use too, because maintaining could be bi-weekly, maintaining could be every half year, depending on what the service is, right? And what the type of dog you
Yeah.
have. So yeah, I'm on a similar page with you. Another
hmm
thing is that should every dog owner be responsible for knowing how to do basic grooming on their dog? My opinion of that is a hardcore yes, but we're also both exotic animal owners.
Yeah.
So this is kind of stuff we've been knowing.
hmm Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like I people should know basic dog grooming up into a point. There are things that I think people should not have to do, and I don't trust people to do, frankly, like expelling anal glands. Like that is something that if you do like squeeze incorrectly, you can end up injuring the dog. So I feel
Mhm.
like things like that, that's something you should have a professional take care of. Just like if someone with an exotic animal, like they aren't fully comfortable performing like wing clipping or something on a
Yeah,
bird,
exactly.
then
Yeah.
I feel like if you're not comfortable doing something, you shouldn't try to do it because then you're just
Hmm.
putting yourself at
And
risk.
this is, I'm gonna kind of say it, but exotic animal owners, we're kind of better in a lot of ways
We
because
have to be.
we have to be, because
We aren't
there's
as catered
not
to.
a general knowledge of things. Like
hmm
maybe the closest thing is a hamster to what
Yeah.
people think they know how to take care of, but unfortunately, there's a lot of ways you can do wrong with dogs too.
hmm
But when I have guinea pigs, for example, there's a lot of ways you can screw up grooming a guinea pig, and I have guinea pigs that need regular maintenances. So
Yeah.
for a dog, you could research maybe like for a week and think that okay, I'm good. I've done a week's worth of research, but like kind of basic research, and you think you're ready for the next step, and you still consider it basic. So example would be like using clippers on your dog. That's
Yeah.
very dangerous to do. Like that's some,
hmm
yeah, like that's another injury that we
Yeah.
constantly seen coming into the grooming salon or
Yeah.
asking about
I
it in
know.
the store. So that that's definitely not basic to me. Is if you need to include mechanical tools and
hmm
electric tools and like
Yeah. And like
yeah.
you know, dematting a very matted dog can be dangerous too. Like if you
Hmm.
pull too hard, it can bruise the skin or cause like a hematoma, cut the skin, things like
Yes.
that. So
Yeah.
like there are some things like I feel like people should be responsible for grooming their dogs up to a point.
Hmm.
Um, like they should be able to do brushing and like teeth maintenance, and like wipe
Ear.
out the ears if they're like
Yeah.
gross. But things like even things like sometimes like I feel like people should try and do nail trims, but sometimes people are just like so like nervous about it and like
Yeah.
they freak out over it so much that like I don't know, there's like I feel like everyone should in a perfect world, but like people just like won't. And
Yeah.
like I feel like if someone is so nervous about doing it, having like a vet or a professional groomer do it, like it, I wouldn't fault them for that, because if they're that like freaked out over bleeding the nail, they probably will end up bleeding the nail. And
Yeah.
just like and their nervousness, the dog will pick up on that too, so it'll be a more stressful experience for the dog. So I feel like things like brushing like the coat, brushing the teeth, cleaning the ears, nail trimming to a point, but yeah, there are some things which should be left to the
And that is
professionals.
also something, even that, like, so what we said, what was what teeth, brushing,
Hmm.
ears, and then nails, depending
Yeah,
on that, right?
yeah,
Maybe like tear stains, like face stuff
yeah, just like
too.
wiping the face, like
Yeah.
basic stuff, like yeah, like
So
um
that's, yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty basic. I still recommend you do some research on that because a lot of people don't know how to brush their dogs, right? That they don't
Hmm.
realize that they need a few different things, like a comb and a slicker, and what they do differently.
Yeah,
Slicker won't take out
yeah,
your knots and everything like that.
I
So
know,
do
yeah,
some
because they
research.
need.
That's very basic. What do you consider to be emergency though?
Yeah, so emergency would be if like the nails are growing into the pads, like basically anything. Because I like work at a vet clinic. I do have. I feel like I keep saying that, like I work at a vet clinic. Like I'm
Yeah,
not
but
saying
no,
it like that.
that's important. You're
But
taking
I
in
mean,
these.
like,
You're the one saying
um,
what you're taking in. Like what is your
yeah,
vet
because
taking
like for the exotic animals, what I say to clients, what I consider emergency when they're asking about like the nail trimming emergency like services and that, I say anything that like inhibits the animal's ability to like live. So like their ability to eat, their ability to perch or walk. So basically anything that affects or inhibits the animal's life would be considered emergency or poses a serious health risk.
in? Yeah.
So things like nails that are growing into the pads, or nails that are curling under, um, like coats that are very, very matted, um, anal glands that are impacted, ears that have infections or like super gross,
Hmm.
basically anything like, that's inhibiting the animal's comfort and ability to live.
So you hear that, people?
Yeah.
Your dog wanting this cute little round face,
Hmm.
specific like schnauzer cut when they have, a perfectly good cut about a month ago. They don't.
Hmm.
That's not fucking emergency. Okay,
No,
so don't call about it.
I know. Yeah, people are just like bored.
Yeah.
Um, oh, and another point I think that's important is before you get a dog, you should research what the grooming needs of that breed are, so you know what you're signing up for. Because
Yes.
some breeds they require a lot of grooming, like and that's just how it is. They need a lot of brushing. Some breeds shed a lot,
Yeah.
so
Are they
that's
double
something you
coated?
just yeah, like so that's something you need to research before you like get any type of animal,
Hmm.
so you know what to prepare yourself for
Yeah. What
and
type
how
of
to best
skin do
meet the
they have
needs.
too? Like,
Yeah,
'cause there's some that are just
yeah.
like
Some
good looking
dogs are
like a
more
greyhound.
prone to like, yeah, some dogs are more prone to like skin allergies or skin issues too. So it's definitely something you need to consider when you get a pet.
Hmm. One thing I guess, like to kind of wrap up on the grooming specific topic, would be, do you think it's irresponsible though for us to kind of want to work right now?
Yeah, like I think um it's hard to say, really. I mean, um
Like
I
I
think
do feel some guilt in a way. Like the grooming, like with
yeah,
our groomers right now,
no.
right? So like we're just working our regular shit right now that we have mentioned in the past.
Hmm.
Um there's me, and I'm not even dealing with a dog that lives in a home or anything. I'm dealing with a person touching maybe a product for about 2 minutes and they're putting it on a table, and maybe that's the
Hmm.
most interaction when it comes to touch,
Yeah.
right? And this is washing the dog, and then you have to sanitize each dog, and then your entire day. Like our groomers right now that I've seen, we only have a groomer and one bather right now because our salon
Hmm.
just reopened, and it's just insanity for them right now. So they're stressed out of their fucking minds. They're like, is it worth it to put this much stress onto these people? And they're gonna have really low hours. They're gonna have so much restrictions, and then they're also taking a risk for
Hmm.
others people's. Most of the time, it's not emergencies.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can see what you're saying. But I feel like a lot of the time when groomers want to work, or at least what I've been seeing from people's postings, and what I've got the sense of is that people want to work just to help the animals. Like
Hmm.
they don't want like the really matted dogs to be in pain or to continue to suffer. So I'd say like it isn't really irresponsible in that sense, because that's they want it for like a good reason.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So intentions are good. I just
Yeah,
I
good
think some
intentions.
guilt about like not quitting and then being like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm not working right now because of the pandemic, and I'm not gonna risk other people. I'm not gonna risk my family around
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm still working right now, and I'm considered essential. I guess that's the same thing for not groomers, though. I think that's just all essential workers in general. They're risking the
Mm-hmm.
same thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
The hot juicy question
Mm-hmm.
is we have both yet to answer is should grooming be considered essential? On three, I want us to answer yes or no. Okay.
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 It has to be yes or no.
Yeah.
And if
And
you're
this is
like,
this, and this
oh,
is, and this is the, and I want to make sure we're not
okay.
yeah. So it's on three, yes or no. And it's
Okay. All right. I have
should
to.
grooming be considered essential?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. No.
Yes. um, so
I'll let you go first.
I kind of cycled through emotions. At first, like when the question first came up like weeks ago, I was like, no, vets can do anything like that's an actual emergency, and like honestly, a vet should probably be seeing like a severely like neglected dog if it's as bad as it's being made out to be. A vet should probably be treated anyways. But now, like after like a few weeks, like reading things, it's not so much as like a hard yes. It's like, why not? Why not? Let people groom dogs. Like it's not the worst thing. It's not like it's I don't know. It's not like what's an example of it's not like massage parlors are being opened up again or something. It's like
Yeah.
it's just like dog grooming. And like I took I know like a bike could be is considered essential because people use it as transport and stuff like that, but like I use my bike recreationally, but I just took it to get tuned and the bike shops are still open, so like I'm getting something non-essential done as a service for something that should technically be only open for like emergencies or like people who use it to be for transportation. So I mean,
That's a really good
yeah,
example.
so like it's something that's like still happening out there in other like, so how is grooming that different, you know? And like you could even go further and say, well, like how people are saying, oh, the vet can just groom the dog, that's fine.
Mhm.
Well, pet stores are open for dog food, but in an emergency, the grocery store has the dog food aisle. The grocery store dog food aisle is shit, and the haircut the vet's going to give the dog is going to be shit, but it's still there as an option. So why are pet stores still open for selling dog food? You can go to the grocery store and get some Little Caesar, not Little Caesars, Caesars. I always make that mistake, and it's probably because they both taste the same.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Shade. There's some shots fired at Little Caesars, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, Haley, I'm so sorry, but I kind of tricked you. So, the question was, should groomers be considered essential? No, because should they be considered essential? No. But are they? Yes. Should
Yeah.
they? No, they should not be.
Oh,
Like, this is where, yeah, I'm sorry. I agreed with all your points. I just kind of tricked you.
I know. Oh, but we're
Sorry,
both
I
basically
had you on
saying
your
the same
toes.
thing, though.
I
We're
had
basically
you.
saying the same. No,
Absolutely.
no, we're saying the exact same thing. We didn't plan that.
Yeah.
Like,
So, so that's the thing though, because the thing I'm fucking seeing on these groups that we mentioned before, like on different social media platforms, is people are like, it shouldn't be because people should be knowing about their dogs. They should know that. I'm like, yeah, they shoulda, coulda, woulda. Guess what reality is? Nobody's
they're
fucking
not going
grooming their
to.
dogs. Nobody's doing
No.
the right shit constantly on good days. Like half or most of the dogs are not being treated properly. People don't
No.
know how to take care of their dogs, and this is a common knowledge about anybody in the animal industry, is that there's
Mm-hmm.
so much for people to learn and so little they want to actually do about it. So
Mm-hmm.
reality of it, yes, it's essential. Should it
Mm-hmm.
be in a perfect world? No.
No, but it has to be
But it
because of
is.
how people are. Yeah.
Sorry guys, wake up. A lot of these dogs are in pain. A lot of these
Mm-hmm.
dogs are just, if they don't do it, they're like, I don't want a dog to hurt. And things that are,
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said earlier, things that aren't actually essential are open. So why the fuck are we limiting it on grooming? Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like it's a pretty big one. It's not like hairstylists. Like hairstylists are
No,
not, they're not the same thing. Like we're not doing
I
hair
know.
transplants, we're not doing like surgeries and shit on our head
No,
at the hairdressers. You can't compare the two. One is actual luxury, while one is hygiene.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good way of
So
putting it.
to you, when you are preventing grooming, you are preventing hygiene. When you are preventing hygiene, you are now restricting and risking their health.
Mm-hmm. And overloading the vet clinics.
And you're
And
fucking people up
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
our spiel on it. Sorry guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an asshole.
No,
Not that I just think, okay, sorry, I didn't mean that. Not that I think people that don't think it's essential are assholes. Like I said, I agree with all the
I
points.
get it.
I
I
agree
get
with
it.
all of it.
I get it. And then like total shutdown, like dystopian pandemic world. No, grooming should not be open.
No.
It's just like
Life or death?
the only,
No. But
yeah, the only thing that should open is like the food bank and the I don't know, the war. I don't know. I'm trying to think of
the
anything
military
else.
bases,
The
like,
military base and
I'm gonna tell you right
the
now, actually,
vault
a
to
lot of them are
hide in.
closed. A lot of them are closed,
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
probably.
okay, so now that we kind of went a little bit about grooming, we're gonna kind of talk about stuff that we've been dealing with our dogs during the pandemic. So one of them is how to, like, groom your dog while you're stuck at home, or some tips that we have for you. So
Mhm.
we got a list here. I don't know if you see it, Haley.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is this one I'm reading, or?
Do you want to go ahead with the
Oh no,
first
this
one?
one. Yeah, no, this one's mine. Sorry.
Yeah.
Organizing it a little. It's a little off, but we're good. We're good. We're good. We'll get
Mhm.
there. Okay, so here's a few different tips that we have for what to do with your dog. They're not going to the groomers. You don't have an emergency thing, but they still need to be looked after, and you're just not sure 100% about the whole thing if you're doing it right. I'm not going to give you a whole lesson on how to groom your dog. There are a bunch of different YouTube videos. There's a bunch of blogs that you can read. There's a bunch of tips on that when it comes to actually grooming. But I really want you to limit to the basics when you get home. So like I said, we were mentioned before, teeth, nails if you feel comfortable, like at least
Mhm.
file if you can. If you
Yeah.
this
Yeah, or it's like
dog.
take the very tips off or
Or
something. Or
yeah, just like a little
yeah.
bit, and then slow, because yeah, it can get bad if
Mhm.
you go in a little too fast. So when it comes to, even before you actually get tools onto your dog, if you have especially if you have a puppy, they should learn from the start what is some uncomfortable areas that they shouldn't be scared of other people touching. So a lot of those areas are like the face, the ears, and the paws are probably the biggest one. So if you ever brought your dog to the groomers and then you heard your dog howl and cause a fit with the groomers like that because they're touching their paws, like, oh, that's because like it's not me, I'm not touching the paws, or like they hate it like that. Well,
Mhm.
when you get them used to touching, when you get them used to you touching their paws and other people touching their paws, and like right around the crooks of the eyes where the tear stains are, and wiping the ears and all that, when you get them used to that, especially at a young age, it gets so much better for the groomers to handle, and they'll be so much better for you to handle as well when you actually put tools involved. So another thing you could do for grooming is to work on like socializing with like your housemates and like that, because a lot of people are like, oh, only I can trim my dog's nails. It's just me. He hates everybody else. Maybe try to fix that, because if it's just
Mhm.
you, your groomer is gonna fucking hate you when you say that.
Oh my God, when you said, I thought you meant like work on socializing with your housemates yourself, so
Oh,
they're more willing to help you hold the dog down. That's literally what I thought you meant.
well,
I just
that's
realized you had socializing the dog.
well, it's multiple. So ask for help when you need it.
Yeah.
Ask your housemates to help out with this stuff too. So like, how there's a pet, it's a family pet, right? So
Mhm.
if I'm living with a dog, technically it's not my dog, but it's the family dog. I look after the dog. I help with training.
Mhm.
I notice the nails. I pet him. I play with him, and I am one of the owners that he knows, even though I'm not technically
Yeah.
the rightful owner, you know? So other than that, that's some different ways of getting other people in the house involved to help out with your grooming stuff. I will leave 2 links in the description about easing anxiety and aggression when it comes to grooming visits and just calming your dog while you're grooming at the house. I know we're not technically doing visits right now, but the tips still help out for when you're putting it into practice at home. And then when it happens after this is all over, they'll be a little bit more used to it and a little bit more eased into the grooming. Yeah, I think that's
Right.
pretty much it for the grooming tips. But continuing on with the quarantine theme.
Yeah, I have some tips here on how to be more productive with your animals during quarantine. So just some things you can do to kind of improve their lives. So we have DIY projects. You can make new toys. Animals usually love trash, especially birds, in my experience. So things like shredded paper, toilet paper rolls, everything loves toilet paper rolls. I mean, literally everything.
Bottle caps.
Yes, water bottle lids. I was about to say, like, so just saving things and like looking up things you can do online. I can put some links in the description as well for like different kinds of foraging toys and stuff for birds and small animals. And even if you look up like not even like foraging or like toys per se, but how have you seen on YouTube like how people make like tiny things for their hamsters, like tiny little like
Yeah.
popsicle stick houses, and even like tiny little meals for them and like little houses, just
Play
stuff like
areas.
that.
Yeah, we got a lot of
Yeah, like
stuff.
you can always make something cute like that and do like a little photo shoot with them. You can create a new goal for like your pet husbandry, so something you want to reach, like for example, I want to set up an automatic misting system and like get all my lizards on timers so I don't have to like keep remembering to turn them on and off. You can redesign your pet room or your bedroom where you sleep surrounded by lizards if you're like me. You can do the biggest deep clean and like clean all your enclosures in one day. Just like just dedicate the whole day to cleaning, getting everything as clean as possible, like you know, like one of those like once a year type things. A cage upgrade challenge. I think you've probably seen like YouTube videos where people try and upgrade enclosures for animals, especially ones that grow like reptiles and fish, or just like adding more stuff to a cage, not necessarily making it bigger. Another thing is to research and update your care knowledge because things are always changing. So just dedicating some time to like going through animal care groups on Facebook. Those are always good. Some YouTube videos. Make sure you cross-reference stuff.
Yeah, there's like Reddit, there's blogs, there's
clarity.
forums.
Yeah,
there's so much to research.
Forums too. Yeah, lots of different stuff to look at. You can also learn about new animals, like not just the ones that you have, ones that you're thinking of getting in the future. You can always add some more knowledge about them to your repertoire. Listening to our podcast, another yes, please do. Please. Another form of research you can do. Working on training and interaction with your animals. So things like target training, and this is not just for like animals that you would think like dogs, cats to a point, but things like you can train reptiles, like you can train
birds.
Fish, oh yeah, birds are smart as heck though. You can train like dumb like not dumb, but like you can train like leopard geckos, like mine eats from my hands. You can train fish. I trained a betta fish once to like jump out of the water and take a pellet from my hands.
I'm working on that right now. I am working on it. I will get tips from you afterwards.
You have to get you need to start with an angry fish, like a fish that bites you like when you come near it. Then you just kind of keep raising your finger. Anyway, so and then the last thing we all know, walk your dogs. Take them for a walk, and hell, not even your dogs. Take your tortoise out and put it in some pesticide-free grass and let it munch. Put your bearded dragon in a patch of clover and let her munch. Take your animals outside.
Like good for you and good for the animal.
Yeah, but walking your dogs is probably better because it takes more time away from your boring quarantine schedule.
Exactly.
So that's probably the most important.
Yeah, a lot of people are like doing desk jobs now because they're working from home and like home can feel stuffy, or
Yeah.
maybe you
Yeah.
just did a huge cleaning and you're just like, okay, now I'm like sick and tired of this house though. I hate breathing in here. Go
Mhm.
outside for a walk.
Get fresh air.
Yeah, go for a walk. Go on places that are not popular. Maybe just try to stick to neighborhood places.
Mhm.
Just it's get some look up some quarantine tips of how
Yeah,
to
get
just
some vitamin
be
D.
healthy, like mentally and physically, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah, so I think to finish it off, you have some dog training enrichment tips, Lock?
oh yes, I do. So this goes along with like walk your dog. Um, they're gonna be pent up just as much, and if anything, we're kind of noticing what it's like to live like a dog. If anything, to be
Mhm.
stuck in the house all the time, it's pretty boring, isn't it? So,
Yes.
especially with regular dog owners, I'm gonna say the majority of dog owners. I feel safe saying that and I am guilty of this too. I think we're all guilty of this. Is that we don't spend nearly enough time doing any training or enrichment or
Mhm.
boredom solutions or that, and we basically just get them on their exercise that they need daily, and then we consider that done. We have like cuddle
Yeah.
sessions and we have
Yeah.
other things that like show affection or that, but
Mhm.
are we doing enough for our dogs? Not really. So I'm going to give you a few things that you can do with your dog, or honestly you should be doing, quarantine or no quarantine, right? So all right, so if you did any research for training and you've just been holding it off for because you don't have time, I don't have time. It does take time to train. It takes effort, energy, and a lot of research. So you got nothing but time right now. So that's a really good time to put all your research into play with your dog. Um, Another thing you could do, as you mentioned before, is start on your grooming. Maybe try to build a habit out of it. So maybe try little things to get better at it. Like a lot of people are working on getting their dogs quick, shorter, like slowly but surely, because do it too fast, then they bleed. So,
Mhm.
so honestly, just try to get the habit in there. I think it takes like 70 hours to fully build a habit. So if you're doing it like every second day, or maybe just like twice a week, maybe by the time this is over, you'll have that regularly in your schedule, and it'll only benefit your dogs. So
Mhm.
what else do we have? So when it comes to playing with your dog, try to do some more engagement games. So like tug of war, chasing, hide and seek. And chasing can go both ways. So you can chase your dog, you can have your dog chase you. They freaking love it. Come and go. You can teach them a new skill if you want to. So like some dogs are trained for skills. Like those are service dogs. And I thought those are skills, while we could do tricks for other things. If you want to train a trick that's just like completely useless but looks cute. So I have my dog. He knows how to sit on his hind legs and put his paws this way. He knows how to crawl, like army crawl. Like those are
Mhm.
things.
That's pretty cute.
It's not necessarily to like, oh my god, he's a trick dog, because like he's not a border collie. I have a pit bull, and so
Mhm.
he's not like doing the same things that other people do. It's more just like mental stimulation, so that
Yeah.
your dog is getting um, just stimulation in the
Yeah, it's a
not
good
just this
bonding
walk.
experience too.
It's bonding.
Yeah.
It's just like seeing your dog have a fun time. I don't like It's like seeing your toddler having a fun time. You just smile, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's sweet.
right? So what else do we got here? We got you can make enrichment toys. So remember we were saying about DIY toys? That goes for dogs too. A lot of people think of like at least in the animal industry, when I say, "Oh, I'm gonna build a DIY toy," I don't think people think dog first. I think
Yeah, no.
other stuff, like maybe cat first, but
Mhm.
for dog, there's a lot of stuff you can build. You can build like what are they called? Those uh, feeder puzzles and like
Oh,
fun
yeah, I like the
feeders
mats.
and big boxes. You can do stuff for them to like try to find, like almost like yeah, just all a bunch of stuff. You can either
Mhm.
make it, you can buy it if you want to. A lot of stores are reopened, so now's your time to get something if you have to go to a pet store, right?
Mhm.
And if you want to do even more with that, grab those toys and hide them.
Oh.
Yeah, like Kong makes like like their Kong shape.
Yeah, the
Shoots
classic
out
Kong.
Yeah, it shoots out treats. I would use it for kibble.
Oh,
Right that?
really?
Yeah, well, because then they're not gonna stop, right? And you have to
Mhm.
fill the okay, honestly, most treat things I should be made for more kibble stuff, because
Mhm.
who's feeding that much treats like in there?
I
That's
know,
not
right?
healthy. and
Yeah,
it's
I've
just not
only ever
practical.
used kibble really in those, like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So do that and hide it for them. So then now they
Mhm.
have to find it, and then that's a new toy for them, which is nice. You can make your own agility course. A lot of people have been making their own like mini golf courses. I'm like, that's cute and fun for your
Really?
dog.
Aw.
Absolutely do that for yourself. Do like something similar for your dog. Make your own at-home
Mhm.
agility course. Make it outside, make it inside. It doesn't need to be like show dog running like hella fast, like
Mhm.
50 kilometers an hour. It could just be like small stuff. An obvious one is to just, maybe get some more like chewing, natural chewing toys, or like, or sorry, natural chews or chewing toys. So like a Kong, if you can shove literally anything you want in those stuffer type of toys. You can throw it in the freezer. It takes them a lot longer to get to. When you have natural bones, it takes a long time because it's a dried piece of meat, so it takes a
Mhm.
while to get through. One thing I think would be really cool if you do have the time is to do some nose work. Yeah, some like sniff games for them to really work on their scent, and at that, I guess you would consider that a skill.
Yeah.
Some people are like, find my phone, and like they can't find their phone. It could be practical,
That's
like
funny.
yeah, well, like things like
I
people
like
lose
that.
their wallets or their keys,
Yeah.
and they start doing like nose work to find like basic stuff like that around the home. If you want to go in depth, you can, like if you have a
Mhm.
farm dog or something like that, or if you have like maybe, I don't know, I saw, it's gross. I don't know how you do it. I don't recommend doing it, but there's a person that had rats infestation, and they keep
Yeah.
thinking to get rid of it, but then
Yeah.
they have their dogs smell the poop, and they're just like, I can hear it, I can smell it. That's where it is. So they know they still have
Oh.
rats to deal with,
Oh my
or like
god.
pests in general. I'm like, okay, don't
Dogs are
recommend that,
smart.
but like there's stuff you can get creative with, right?
Yeah. Oh, and fun fact, people have been doing that with snakes too. I've seen in some of my enrichment groups.
But
So not like the same, obviously, but like they'll take the pinky, the frozen thawed pinky, and like kind of leave a little scent trail with it and hide it behind a hide or something, and the snake will have to go and find it. Or
oh, that's
they'll
good.
use one of the play feeder mats for a dog, but like leave a scent trail through it with the pinky, and the snake has to
How
go through
cute.
the mat to find it. Yeah. So like think outside the box, and there's lots of like training and foraging things you could do with other types of animals you wouldn't necessarily think, like I said. So like target training large lizards, trying to train a fish to like jump out of the water over your
Yeah.
hand or something, or yeah, so lots of
Good
things.
luck with
Anyway,
the ball
continue.
python. I don't know if they're gonna
Yeah,
do.
no, a ball python,
I'm
ball
like, good luck if
python's
you have a ball python. I
KP.
got corn snake or a little hog nose, maybe.
No, yeah, the corn snakes are the ones I've been seeing doing it mostly, but
Yeah. What else do we have here? We got a few more. Make sure your dogs have a safe and quiet place to go if you have rowdy kids. This is really important. So
mhm. Especially kids
overstimulation
are
is
at
still a
home more,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. So not even like if you have kids in the house, your kids are usually gone to school. Like your kids are
Mhm.
not in the house 24/7. If it's summer, they're at least like outside, they're doing stuff. Well, pandemic,
Yeah.
like everyone's saying stay inside, and but if we're respecting the rules appropriately, we're gonna be all pent up, and it's a lot of like overstimulation for the dog. It's like loud kids. Maybe
Mhm.
there's like cooking going on, so there's a bunch of scents and loud noises there too. Maybe the kids are watching TV and being loud, right? So like
Mhm.
and if like they don't have a quiet space, like let's say their crate is in the living room where all the action is, maybe not the best idea. I would suggest like having it in a room, having it somewhere, play
Yeah.
by ear to see what your situation is, but have somewhere where your dog can go where it's quiet, calm, and they can sleep, collect themselves. If they're nervous or stressed, at least they can calm themselves down naturally.
Yeah, no, that's a very good idea. I think that's kind of overlooked a lot.
It is,
Um,
yeah. And
yeah,
if
because this is affecting them too.
yeah, so and
It's a big change.
if you want to, you can also go and take them outside just to calm them down a little bit too. I know like dogs are like they use their nose, right? That so if to not
Mhm.
stimulate their nose and their smell during walks is kind of like a really big point in training that we try to do is
Yeah.
like say like, yeah, I want you to do this and this and this so that way they're not pulling it with them. But like smelling is a huge part. Acknowledge it that they need to do that.
Mhm.
What else do we have? Oh, when you're going on walks, make sure your dog is also following the rules of physical distancing. Like keep your 6 feet
Mhm.
rule. Don't go to a dog park and have them off leash. Don't have your dog be touching other random people that want to pet it. right now it's a rule in like even pet stores, right? That like no one's
Mhm.
touching your dog or that. So 6 feet between your dog and whoever else, or your radius
Yeah.
a little bit bigger. Just keep that in mind. Um, that's okay. So if you do have kids, like being kids, they're gonna drop stuff. They're gonna be eating stuff. Sometimes it's like food that's really dangerous for the dog. Sometimes it's like crafts and like little pieces of glitter or glue or that like stuff that's like really not safe for the dog to ingest. Make sure you're kind of cleaning up after them because things like that can happen. It's kind of like what we were saying in our last episode with you and your unfortunate events with people being at home with their pets,
Oh,
having to
yeah.
come
Oh,
to the
God.
vet
Yeah.
for
I can only imagine what dogs are eating these days.
yeah. So
The
keep
kind
an
of
eye on
foreign
that.
bodies.
Like kids are kids. Like don't blame anyone, but like kids are kids. Just keep an eye out on the floor and
Yeah.
keep an eye on your dog. Like my dog is an amazing dog who never eats anything. I have fully seen him out of nowhere like months ago grab something off the table and there was chocolate chips in that thing. Like
Oh my God.
so I was just like, no, and he dropped it right away. And I'm like, I've
Mhm.
never seen him do that. He's 8 years old.
Yeah. I
Right.
know. Yeah,
So
there's always
things
like
happen.
I know, there's always like a random time they'll like just do something they've never done before.
And I'll be
It's
like
all
grabbing
animals
their
are
mouths.
unpredictable sometimes. Yeah.
You're like, let it drop it, right? So
Mhm.
keep an eye on your dog as much as you trust your dog. Things can happen. Just be aware as much as you
Mhm.
can. So one thing too is your dog might still have some separation anxiety, whether they're there or not. So if you're not there with your dog or that, they can get pretty sad and depressed. That fact that you're ignoring them. Maybe you're at work though, like at your house. Maybe
Mhm.
you're cleaning and need to do
Yeah.
stuff. Separation anxiety a lot of the time. I think that's gonna hit mostly when things start to reopen.
Yeah, yeah, because 'cause it'll be a
Like
big
back to
change for them
normal.
again. They'll just
Yeah,
have gotten used to the old schedule and then it's gonna change.
exactly. Yeah, so kind of ease into it. So wean them on to your new schedule if you have a new schedule. If you kind of follow the same schedule or you're kind of more freebie, you have options to do whatever you want. Just kind of cater to them a little bit if you can when it comes to that. When we start to reopen and you start seeing less restrictions on things and you're starting to go out more, don't just fully go out and like completely shock your dog that you're not home anymore. Maybe go out for a walk just yourself in the
Mhm.
neighborhood for like a little with that, maybe like a little 15-minute walk. Next time you go out for groceries, maybe that's 2 hours. Next time you go out again, like maybe that's for running a few errands in the same day. Maybe that's like 5 hours. And then during
Mhm.
your full 8, 9 hour work shift, now we're kind of back to normal, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of about weaning. What else do we got? If it is a little like let's say your dog is alone for a long time, what I do have in my house is like either some white noise or I have
Mm.
like a TV going on in the background
Yeah.
to help with like separation anxiety. That's like a training tool rather. Like look into that if you want to see
Mhm.
like how to manage with your dog. But when you're in your home and you're just like not doing anything or like you're at a desk job and you're just at your desk and there's no music or anything happening, you're just working. Sometimes that could
Mhm.
stress your dog out. Maybe put some light music in the background, some like a podcast of talking, maybe us,
Yeah.
maybe us if you want to
Yeah, I know,
uh,
yeah. Animals
have a
love
TV
us.
going. You can look into that. Otherwise, there's a lot of stuff you can do to help separation anxiety. What else do we have? If you have no access to a park or a fenced-in area, if you have a background, if you know someone that you trust that has a background or someone that you have to see frequently anyway. So, example, you might not see your niece or your cousin or even your brother too often, right? But they're
Mhm.
considered family and you would be safe going over there. Well, I see my coworkers every day.
Mhm.
Like I see them more than
Yeah.
I see my family at this point,
So
right?
you have whatever they have.
I have whatever they have. Go if you're
Yeah.
gonna go to an open space, maybe go into an open space that's not crowded at least.
Mhm.
If it's somebody where you do your dog trust, get creative. If you're feeling that you can't have your like there's stuff you can do to get around your dog's
Mhm.
freedom to roam everywhere they want to, right? So
Yeah.
what else do I have? If you can't do that, maybe just go on longer walks. Try to get as much energy
Mhm.
burnt in so that way you're stimulating their brain and that they're getting their exercise. That way they're getting their proper days worth of stimulation in general. And I know a lot of people are getting puppies during quarantine and pets in general. I think we're gonna discuss
Yeah,
that
that's our next
episode.
episode.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in our next episode. But for now, I will leave a link below if you do have a puppy. It's a lot of research, and that's the truth. There's no
Yeah,
way
and a
getting
lot
around
of
it. I
grooming.
want you to research. It's something you have to do. It's
Yeah,
not something. It's not an option. Research your goddamn thing.
yeah.
And there's a lot of things that people don't consider, like socializing your puppy, how to do so. So I'll leave that link down below. And yeah, we'll talk about more about what we should be doing during this crisis and pandemic for next episode. I
Yeah.
think that kind of fully wraps it up for episode 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I
For
think
our
that's
quarantine
everything.
quandaries.
Yeah.
And for next episode, just give a quick snippet of what we're going to be talking about a little bit more in depth. Is so what are we considering to be essential in our own opinions, and what the law should do. That's kind of a little bit separate. And the fact that a lot of people are getting animals right now, and people are
Yeah.
pushing animals to be born. Like a lot of
Yes.
people are like
Yes.
breeding right now purposely, or a lot of people are like, should adoption centers be advertising that, like, getting in animals right now? Is it
Yeah.
the right time for any of it? Wait and see. We'll discuss it next episode.
Yeah.
All right. So we don't have like a sign off, but
no, we haven't really developed one yet. The episodes are becoming less awkward, slowly but surely. So that's good, I guess. But yeah, so stay tuned for the next episode of our Quarantine Quandaries series. So for tonight, thanks for listening. Take care, guys, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Yeah, for sure. Bye.
Bye.